Hello everyone, thank you for joining the webinar today. Before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. I am Kavya and I head marketing at Rapid Value, and I'm also going to be the moderator for today's session. This is a live webinar and we are going to be presenting on making test automation 10x faster for continuous delivery. Today's speakers are Ajish Cherian and Vidya. Ajish is our technical architect and he leads cloud practice at Rapid Value. He also helps in large global projects in enabling digital transformation. Vidya heads our testing practice at Rapid Value and she oversees testing projects, and she has also worked with clients across the spectrum, which includes MNCs, Fortune 500 companies and innovative startups. Her primary role is to help deploy high quality app releases to our clients. Today's agenda is as follows. So we were going to be talking about how you can achieve test automation in DevOps environment, how you can build a business-tailored test automation framework for your organization, which will cover the factors involved in building a test automation framework and the challenges to overcome. We're also going to be speaking on some of the open source tools used in test automation and how you can overcome those limitations. With a real life example, we're going to talk about one of our case studies, which is one of the largest crane rental sales companies in the US, and which will be followed by a demo of our Accurate solution. It is a test automation suite built by Rapid Value. I would like to hand over to Ajish to present on test automation in DevOps environment.
Thank you, Kavya. Good morning, guys. So basically, before I jump into the DevOps and the test automation in DevOps, I just want to cover this simple slide which actually shows frustrations among different departments in a typical software company. The developer, the IT engineer, the QA engineer, support, and the executive. Everybody has their viewpoints on different aspects that things are not getting done. They always blame the other team that this is not how they should work. For example, developer always says that he has to wait for the infrastructure, his code is not getting deployed, his code always works on his machine, but it doesn't work on the different environments. IT engineer similarly complains that there are so many release cycles. The QA engineer complains that he doesn't get enough time to actually test for his entire sprint activity, and there is no regression. He doesn't get time to test any regression defects or regression cycles at all. Support similarly says that the software is buggy and he's getting too many calls from the customer, and at the end the executive, the CXO actually tells that what is my IT department doing. There is no progress in delivery and there is no progress in the entire software piece itself. Among all the team there is one common goal actually. Everybody wants their software to be a success in the market, and if you broadly classify everybody's goal in actually getting a good product out in the market depends on these factors. First, develop a defect-free software in each iteration. So this is a biggest longing for a developer as well as a QA engineer. Shorter release cycles and faster adoption to changes. This is something a business executive always wants, and also any CXOs also wants faster adoption to changes based on the market trends. The ability to have a continuous integration, delivery, and testing platform is a dream for any IT engineer, so that he gets enough time to actually concentrate on other stuff. And the ability to run automation test cases or any kind of automation or regression test suites is actually a dream for any QA engineer. So all these become a success key points to becoming a success factor for developing a good quality software in any vertical you see in the industry. So with this common goal, the DevOps actually came into the picture, in which they kind of actually bring in a culture and a process in which different teams actually collaboratively work together, have a better communication among themselves, so that it helps them actually enable good quality products and getting it delivered out very fast. For example, the other benefits of a DevOps is actually kind of get operational knowledge back into the design phase. For example, a production issue or a production environment issue, if it is actually fed back into the design phase itself, a developer can actually account for that to happen, and he can actually code based on operational knowledge which he gets from an IT engineer. A continuous feedback system would also enable, from a QA perspective, would enable the developer to actually develop a code which is bug free, and he gets immediate feedback whether a code which he actually released is actually a very good quality or not. Similarly, DevOps also helps us in actually creating high quality releases by having enabling a lot of automations, including a continuous integration, automation regression testing, automated performance, and even security testing. The last point is DevOps actually kind of provide environments or similar environments right from the dev to actually to production. So these are, like, in a nutshell, I mean, benefits of DevOps coming to a software development life cycle. But in a DevOps system, you can actually, if you actually try to broadly classify, I mean, you can, again, so you can classify for like 5 to 6 pillars, but then I've just listed down only key main pillars out here. One is collaborative development. Of course, that is the main point in a DevOps. Second is continuous integration and testing. Third is continuous deployment, and fourth is continuous monitoring. Out of all these major pillars, if you see, continuous integration and testing plays an important role in the entire DevOps cycle, because the rest of the pillars, which actually brings in efficiency to the entire process, but it is the testing or the continuous integration and testing together actually brings in efficiency as well as helps in actually delivering a very good quality product in the market. So no matter how much efficient our DevOps system is as long as we can't actually deliver a very good quality product into the market, our product is not a successful one. So that is why this particular piece of test automation or continuous testing in this DevOps world plays an important as well as a different role in the entire landscape. So this is a typical framework for achieving a test automation in DevOps world. So I mean, when I mean test automation, the testing happens right from the place where the code is written and actually when the code is actually built and deployed onto the servers. So for example, if you see, I mean, all the participants in the DevOps actually are in this entire framework. The business guys actually develop, work on a story, they create sprints, tasks, and actually use any agile software management tool like a Jira or a Kanban to actually get their stories onto that. The developer actually takes the stories and tasks and develops code based on the tasks, and actually they commit to a source control like a GitHub or SVN or ClearCase or whichever they use. There, the first level of testing happens, the static code analysis happen, in which immediately after when the code is actually checked in, a static code analyzer like a SonarQube actually checks with the quality of the code which is checked in by the developer is meeting the quality gates set by the quality analyst, and on top of that, if that is successful, the code is actually pushed into the continuous integration pipeline, which is set up by an IT engineer. So the continuous integration pipeline actually sets up a list of other automation process. For example, it actually again does a security vulnerability scan using Fortify tools. It actually builds artifacts, and then it runs a series of automation testing using any automation test tools like a Perfecto or a C-Test or Accurate and all. And again, the business guys can actually come back and actually write their own business level specific test cases using Cucumber, which can be again triggered using this continuous integration software. So all after this entire process, if the product actually passes a green or a quality gates, then only actually the product is actually promoted to the next environment using the continuous delivery process. Either I mean, it could still be an automated process, and this entire automation test cases which is run on the lower environment is actually executed at each environment specific to where it's getting promoted. So this is a typical or an ideal framework which every organization would love to have, so that they kind of minimize the defects as well as have an efficient way of actually deploying artifacts from the code from the inception to actually to the delivery. But why we actually tell it's an ideal condition is because this is not actually easy as it is on the diagram. In any software, right, depending on the vertical it is in, basically you have n number of variables involved. If it's a mobile software, it is dependent on the device it actually runs on. If it's a browser-based, web-based software, it actually depends on the browsers it wants to support. If it's actually on-premise system, then the entire CI system has to be set up on-premise. If it's on a cloud-based system, you have n number of clouds where this has to actually go and fit in. So the entire, and on top of that, you have a lot of open source tools available in terms of automation testing, like you can have like paid solutions as well as automated open source tool. And sticking to one technology or sticking to one software actually kinds of brings in a vendor locking to the entire organization itself. For example, if I end up choosing a software which is actually which can be used for web, and I start developing a mobile project, I immediately know that my test cases which I've written for web is no longer can be used for a mobile project. But even though the core functionalities are almost similar, but the screens are a little bit different. So that is why even though this is actually a typical or ideal framework, there is an absolute need for actually creating a business-tailored test automation framework for any industry, and which actually works based on pure, which is actually kind of a technology agnostic and platform independent. So next I invite Vidya, who is our test manager and practice lead in QA, to actually talk more on this business tailored test automation framework.
Yeah, hi. Coming few slides, I will talk about the challenges in automation and how can we overcome the challenges using a business tailored automation framework, and some factors to consider for framework. Also, I will discuss about case studies which we have implemented at our Rapid Value. So when we look at the challenges, the first and foremost factor is the form factor. When we look at the mobile application or responsive web application, an automation engineer needs to write the test scripts for Android devices, Android platforms, iOS platforms, then it comes to mobile devices and then tablets. It's a tedious job for an automation engineer to keep writing scripts for multiple platforms, browsers and screen sizes. So this makes automation a tedious job. And that is one of the major challenge. And second challenge is the maintenance part. So most of the test automation tools which exist are dependent on, especially UI functional automation tools are dependent on the UI. Whenever there is a UI change, the test needs to be reworked, and lot of maintenance, lot of effort required to do the maintenance. And that is also one of the challenges. Normally automation engineers will leave it and will not be able to continue with the automation. And another factor is that rapid changes in the technology. Most of the times the technology, and in the current scenario, the technology changes are rapid, and automation tools, especially on the open source tools, will not be upgraded along with that fast change. So automation engineer find it difficult to automate since the tools doesn't support his environment. These are the major factors that an automation engineer faces. And in the coming slides, we will also look at how do we overcome all these challenges through a right framework and take the automation faster and a feasible solution for in the current situations like current business scenarios or technology changes or situations. Then let us look at the factors needs to be considered for building the test automation framework. And before looking at the factors, the important point here is building a automation framework for a group of application or a group of business. And investing effort for a single application probably may not return a faster ROI, but if a framework to be developed for a set of similar application in terms of technological similarity or development models or development process or similar kind of business or group of applications in the similar business group or for an organization will give you a faster ROI. That is one thing that we need to keep in mind when we develop a framework. Once you understand your business needs, your development process and your technology landscape, it is, once you list out the needs based on these factors, you can map the needs with the available open source tool. Given the fact that no single open source tool can provide a full-fledged automation, it is also important to combine multiple tools to maximize the automation using a framework. Or also we can, and most of the cases this open source tool will have certain limitations and it may not be appropriate for that particular or 100% appropriate for the particular situations. In this case, those limitations needs to be overcome through the framework. So that is also one of the factors that we need to consider when we look at and list out the list of open source tools which we can cater to the needs, and we also need to understand their limitations and identify and find a solution to overcome those limitations. And also identify common features and functionalities. For example, in a particular development process, they may be using a set of tools. For example, continuous integration, CI servers like Jenkins or Hudson, or defect management tools. So identify those the common tools or create an interface for that. These are the common features which can be part of the framework. Also reporting format or reporting mechanism, that also is common for all the applications, so it could be part of, it should be a part of the framework. And another important factor which needs to consider is the reusability of the scripts. In the previous slide, which I have already mentioned, the major challenge in test automation is ever-growing number of devices, and this is the solution for that challenge. Write scripts once and run across multiple platforms like Android, iOS, or different screen sizes, mobile device or tablets. Irrespective of that, reuse the scripts, which is very, very important, which makes the automation faster, much faster, and feasible for any environment. And another aspect is integrating with the various tools. Understand the list of tools which has to be integrated, and that also part of the framework. Then let us see in the next slides, we will also look at how we can maximize the automation benefits. So the test automation can be achieved at multiple layers, which will also have its own benefits. As I mentioned in the previous slides, the development process and the development process, the SDLC will also play an important role while selecting the automation. For example, if your development process involves a lot of TDD, or you are doing the TDD test-driven development, then the automation is more appropriate at an acceptance test level, that is BDD, behavior-driven development. So acceptance test automation is taken at a different level, and different set of tools that we need to use. Here we use Cucumber, which is very adaptive to integrate with various other open source tools. And there are many other tools available in the market, but we use Cucumber. Cucumber is an Cucumber is a tool which provides English-like environment, so that mostly acceptance tests will be written by business analysts, and business analysts can use this tool and write the tests using English-like languages, which Cucumber in turn convert this test cases to Java code, and in turn that framework can translate it into or link to map to the respective functional test cases. So that is at a high, acceptance test level automation. And now it's at the functional test automation. Most of the cases this is UI-driven functional test automation. Set of tools that we use here is PM, Protractor, and Selenium. Why do we need to combine these tools? For example, if your application is a responsive web application, your test scripts needs to be reused at web application as well as the mobile application. So in this case, we combine both. APM is the open source tool for mobile automation, and Selenium is the open source tool for web automation. So we combine both to enable the scripts reuse, to reuse on multiple web and mobile. And the Protractor that we use it for mostly for AngularJS components, where Selenium is not the right fit. Protractor is developed by Angular team, and which is the right fit for that. So we combine all these tools to maximize the automation benefits. Then, as I mentioned earlier, development process. So when we look at the current development process, or we encountered many cases where APIs has been developed, hundreds of APIs has been developed, and that is the level we need a lot of testing, and this level also can be automated using tools like JMeter. There are many other tools like SOAP UI and various other tools to do the web service or API level automation, but we use JMeter because it goes well with other open source tools, and it has got its own advantages while integrating. So that level, that framework, we can build a framework, and we can do the automation. So overall, the benefits of doing a framework and doing multiple levels of automation, which reduces the effort. Reduces effort by reusability, to enable reusability, and using the keyword-driven approach where you don't need to write scripts from the scratch. We already pre-built the actions and functions at the framework level, and we can reuse it. That's reduced a lot of effort, thereby cost as well, and improve the productivity. And different layers of automation will enable increased test coverage. Also, at lower levels of automation will bring in the early detection of defects. This way, the quality will be improved significantly. So significant increase in the quality and cost, quality and productivity, and thereby reducing the effort and cost. Then let us also look at the typical architecture of framework. So this is a typical architecture of a test automation framework. Here, the major core part is the automation engine, which has two parts. The top layer is built using Eclipse IDE. That is a interface or development environment for an automation engineer to develop their scripts, run the scripts, maintain the scripts, store the scripts. So that has been built using various tools, including Eclipse, SWT, all those. And under that, there is a framework layer which built using the various tools, Protractor, APM, Selenium WebDriver, JMeter, Cucumber, along with the Java, TestNG, and JavaScript. These together the core act as a core engine for reusability, keyword-driven approach, and data-driven approach. And another part is execution and control unit, which maintains a database. The database will maintain the test results, and whenever the test results needs to be reviewed, it can be retrieved from the database. And there is a dashboard to display and select respective test information, test result and information. Also, you can configure your email ID so that you will receive the test result. Another part is the integration interface to integrate with the various other tools, especially continuous integration tools like Jenkins and Hudson, then defect management tools. And another integration aspect is with device cloud, which is very, very important in this scenario, especially when I spoke about mobile application testing as well as the responsive web, where a typical scenario is any organization needs to maintain a lot of devices, variety of devices, various versions, and it's very tedious, very difficult to maintain those large number of devices. And there are device cloud service providers available like Perfecto, SourceLab, Amazon AWS. Device cloud is nothing but a large number of devices are available, real devices are available in the cloud. The framework can be integrated, and the scripts developed using this framework can be integrated with the cloud service providers so that we can run the scripts on any number of devices on the cloud, any selected devices on the cloud. That is very important aspect here. Then let us see some of the case studies. This is a case study we have done for one of the largest paint sales rental company in US. The situation was the team had 1 weekly sprint, that is every sprint, this Monday to Friday, 5-day sprint. So after a number of iterations, it was tedious to do the automation and the regression testing because it's a large number of test cases needs to be run, and it used to take 12 hours time to do the complete regression. So in the short span of 5-day sprint, it was very difficult to spend 1.5 days for a regression testing, and always the releases will push to the weekends, and the team was overloaded and frustrated. And this is a situation where we brought in the automation, and with Accurate, we were able to automate more than 2,000 test cases for web using Accurate. And the benefit is the regression testing cycle time is reduced from 12 hours to 3 hours for a weekly sprint. And mostly the 3 hours we use for enhancing the scripts and setting up the infrastructure. So rest of the regression testing will automatically happen. So this increases the productivity and quality. When we do it manually, there are a lot of chances of manual errors, but through the automation, it was quality improved, productivity improved. This is a major advantage of using the Accurate Solution Suite. And we also set up the automated code review process for that using SonarQube. There is few other implementations. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is some of the statistics that we have got it from our real-time implementations. When we look at the responsive web application, typically at the minimum, we have to run those tests on 8 platforms. That is, if you look at web, there is 2 on Windows and 2 on Mac side. And there will be one mobile phone and one tablet, one Android mobile phone and one Android tablet, one iOS mobile phone and one iOS tablet. This is a typical minimum requirement for a responsive web when we test one application. And this data is for testing effort for 100 tests. When you look at the effort for running, the testing effort for running 100 tests on single platform is a day. That is a standard that we have come across after multiple implementations. So one cycle for 8 platforms, it takes 64 hours. But when suppose if we are doing it for 10 cycles, the total effort will be 640 hours. And let us look at the automation effort. When we the average productivity in case of automation is 25 test cases per day for web. So it will take 4 days to complete automation of 100 tests. So first cycle we might need to spend 32 hours, and the execution will be automatically happen. There is no manual effort required. And after 10 cycle, you will be over a period of 10 cycle, you might need to spend 59 hours to do the regression testing. The 59 hours is the rest of the 9 cycles. There is a 20% effort planned for maintenance and enhancing the scripts or adding new scripts plus setting up the infrastructure. That is a standard estimate we have come up across. Then if we look at mobile applications, the number of devices and browsers become large. That's a minimum 12 number of platforms that we need to test it. And one cycle manual testing effort will be 96 hours, and for 10 cycles it will be 960 hours. When we look at the automation testing effort, automation, the standard productivity for automating mobile application is 20 test cases per day, 20 test cases per day. That is, for a week, 40 hours, we will be able to automate 100 tests. So total effort for the whole 10 cycle will be 112 hours. So this is a significant effort reduction and thereby cost and increasing the quality. So this is the various ways that we have improved. We have reduced the effort and reduced the cost, and also improved the productivity and quality. Now let us move ahead with a quick demo, short demo of the Accurate Solution Suite, where we will demo a live scenario. So this is the Accurate Solution Suite development environment. What we are trying to do is, we will take up a application, and it's a above retail application, and we are now automatically identify the element on the screen, which is using a feature called Object Spy. It spies the elements on the screen and add to a object repository. So there is separate object repository created for Android, iOS, and web, and it will, depending on the type of application and platform it runs on, it will automatically go and add to the object repository. Once you identify those elements, we also provide names. Now we are moving ahead with creating a test case using the pre-built keywords. So we are trying to log into the above screen. So we are adding respective keywords and passing the parameters which element identification identifiers what we have already stored here and passing some parameters here. Since automatically the elements are identified and stored there, so we can just call here. Now we have entered information for login. Now we are entering for password. So we have given the element identification. We are inputting this data. Now we have to call the click action. So we have all the, we are hiding the password here because password is a, we don't want to display the password. We are hiding the password here. Now we are sequencing with the click action to log in. So we're passing the parameters and mapping to the elements identified here. Now we can see the scripts, automatically generated scripts. This is the zero code scripting. So we have already created a script for login to the application, and now we are building the scripts, and scripts has been built. Now we are opening the scripts which is generated automatically. This is a script that has been generated automatically. Yeah, we haven't written any single script. It's generated automatically. Now we will see how we will run those scripts. So while running the scripts, it calls APM, and we are connected to a we have connected a device, mobile, through cable, and we are taking the image through Visor application. We are displaying that it's on the monitor. So now the script is running, and script is executing. It's automatically logging in. It's entering the username. Now it is trying to enter the password. So password been hidden, then yeah, it's logged in, and it's went to the screen. It's showing the, yeah, it's logged out. It's logged out. Now we can see this test result. So this is a dashboard. We signed in, and we can this is the test results is coming in. We're selecting the previous run. So this is the test results. It will give you the information about the type of devices and the OS version of the devices. You don't need to remember and recollect that. Everything will be captured automatically. The execution details, now total number of tests we have executed and number of tests passed. If this has failed, if the test is failed, the the screenshot will be captured and attached here with the failure reason. We will show a pre-built script for the failure. This is the case where it's been captured. Whenever there is an error occurs, it takes a screenshot and attach here. So that way it will be easy for developers to understand what is the failure and where it happened and get it fixed fast. And the dashboard will give you to review of the previous runs and understand the progress and give the details of each run, how many tests passed, failed, all information. Then there is an automation tab which will give you, help you to run the scripts on various device clouds like AWS or Perfecto, or Accurate itself provides a small device farm with 5 to 10 devices which can be customized at your premises. So it will also help to list the devices available. And since it's a third party, so it takes some time to connect. So these are the list of devices available in the Perfecto, and you can choose a device and run your scripts, or you can choose multiple devices and run the scripts. Then now we can look at the administration tab, where we can do set of configurations, a project name, and there is various configuration like build management and script management, and you can upload files here. And AWS, it's again connected to the Amazon AWS. Then report tab. Report tab, again, this is to review the previous reports and execution, summary, all those. So this is what Accurate provides. This is a nutshell, a quick snapshot of what Accurate provides. And if you would like to know more about Accurate, you can also reach out to us.
So this is the demo we have shown, and if you want to schedule a detailed demo of the entire product, right, we are happy to set on one-on-one meeting with you all. You can write to like Kavenidhi and Gmail, rapidvaluesolutions.com. Any questions you have at this minute? Okay, there is one question. So the question is, Vidya, if I found a keyword which is missing in the framework Accurate, can I go and add it in the script for auto generation?
Yes, it is possible. So usually keywords will be generic, keywords will be available, and every 2 weeks that we provide release with a new set of keywords. And if there is non-availability of a keyword, we can add to that particular in the script. That is, script is editable. If you want to customize, you want to modify, you can do that and you can run it. That is possible.
Okay, thank you, Vidya. Any other questions?
Hi, Kavya. This is Bharat here.
Yes, Bharat.
Suppose if you want to execute the same scripts on multiple browsers at a single point of time, so will the tool support?
Yes, it supports. That's what reusability we talk about. If the functionality is same, it supports. Single scripts, you can run it on multiple browsers, and if it is a browser and the devices, you might need to capture the elements like identify the objects separately. For example, if it is a device, Android and iOS, you need to separately identify the elements. It will be done. So it will automatically pick up those corresponding elements from the repository.
Okay, so in the framework you have used Jenkins and all. So how the builds and all will happen?
Yeah, we have a provisions to integrate with Jenkins. It automatically integrates with Jenkins and it will run.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there any
So,
trial period demo available?
We usually give demos, trial. We don't provide trial version, but we do also give a sample demos, and we do also create POCs. That is how we POC that we suppose if you have a set of you wanted to try it out, and along with us you can try it out, and we will provide.
Oh, we cannot explore on our own by giving a trial period or something.
Not at this moment. As we are releasing trial versions, we are not immediately. We are going to give probably in 3 months down the line. We are providing trial versions.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Any other question? I think somebody else was asking some questions.
Vidya, there's one more question. So Ali wants to know what are the disadvantages of Accurate?
Hi, Ali. So Accurate has been built understanding the disadvantages of various other tools. Rapid Value been in the market for last 8 years, and we've been doing the mobile automation. We started off with mobile automation, and we faced a lot of challenges when we started using open source tools to do the automation. And with those disadvantages, we built Accurate, and it's all based on the disadvantages. So at this point, probably I'm not sure in what aspect that you are looking at the disadvantages.
So Ali, to answer your question specifically, the key requirement for working in Accurate is at least have a developer skill set which actually is having a Java skill set. So if the organization doesn't have that particular skill set, usually what we do from our Rapid Value side is we kind of offer support services to actually help them develop the script. Even though a lot of actually is, it doesn't require Java as a platform to actually know, you don't need to know it, but the underlying core technology which it uses is actually Java. So at some point in time, any debugging or if it crashes or anything, if you don't have an IT engineer which actually kind of supports a Java platform, then you guys have to actually kind of reach out to us to actually help us resolve the issue for you. So that is I would say a kind of a disadvantage for an organization who doesn't have any Java previous experience. But I think most of the organization has at least a very good amount of Java background. But in case if such situation occurs, what we end up doing is actually we offer support services to actually cover this limitation.
And moreover, we are zero code scripting. We don't need to script it. And the Accurate, the intention is to enable manual testers who doesn't have any background of development of coding. They also enable them to do the automation. So that is the key here, and that is where we brought in the zero code scripting concept.
How good the application is helping out with the dynamic changing parameters?
Sorry?
How good the application is handled during the dynamic changing parameters?
Yeah, so we have a multiple, elements identification parameters. So it's automatically identify those, multiple parameters. So even if you the dynamically changes, it's been handled at framework level. And one another question is, can we integrate, I think the question is from Prashant. Can we integrate the tool with the Bamboo deployment tool for continuous delivery? Yes. And depending on the requirement, we provide the interface to integrate multiple deployment tools or continuous integration tools. If a new tool which already not integrated, but we do provide interfaces and we do integrate it and give it. There is no restriction on the kind of tools that we can integrate, because since it's an open source tool, it's very scalable.
So right now, all Accurate platform has services exposed using which any CI tool. So now that we actually integrated with Jenkins, but pretty much any CI tool can actually call these services and kind of execute trigger of automation test cases. Since Jenkins being an open source platform, and we actually offer as an entire full suite of from CI to continuous testing, we choose Jenkins as the default CI in our platform. But if organization have team services or any other CIs, I think pretty much Accurate can actually easily fit into it.
Okay, I don't see any more questions. I think we are finished on time. Since it's a 1-hour webinar, we want to end it on time. So if you have any questions, we are happy to take it offline, and you can please email and we'll connect you with Vidya. So thank you everybody. Appreciated that so many of you could join the webinar. I hope it was insightful and useful for you all. Thank you.